Hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? I was looking at something on my phone. Anyway, good morning, y'all. How are we doing today? I am so excited because, well, I'm excited every Monday morning because it's another week to do something amazing. But listen, let me tell you, we are back again with another podcast just here to help you start out your week with a little less chaos, okay? Now, sometimes even with me trying to help y'all start off with a little less chaos, sometimes I'm a little chaotic, right? And that's fine. I think that intentional life does not mean, oh no, I forgot to plug up my mic. Intentional life does not mean that life is not chaos. It does not mean that there are not issues in life sometimes. It just means that you have a plan for it, right? So hopefully my sound sounds better now because I totally forgot. Let's make this correct. There we go. Okay. So hopefully my sound is a little bit better now. Because I realized I like started and was like, hold on. I don't have a mic. Hold on. But anyway, yeah, so life doesn't mean or living intentionally, living life with a little less chaos doesn't mean that there's still chaos, that there isn't any chaos. What it means is that you have planned for it. And when it comes, you have a way to get through it. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about controlling our time. But let me break down what we do every single Monday morning. Okay. We break down a couple of good things, the good things that happened the week before, because we know how important it is to start off our week with remembering what was good in the past so that we can move forward well in the future. Then we're going to talk about what's on the docket because the whole point to this podcast is to actually start off our week with a little less chaos and actually spend some time making sure that we're planning ahead for the week ahead. And then we're going to break down the intentional topic of the week. Okay? And this week we're going to be talking about controlling our time. This is another way of being intentional with the moments that we have, actually controlling those moments, figuring out how to set boundaries. And then also even knowing that even in us controlling, we can't control everything. Um I know I put this as the title, but then I'm just like, I don't want people to start thinking that they can control everything because you can't. But what you can do is make sure that you're planning so that it won't trip you out every single time that something changes. Okay. And then finally, the Dreamboost Prayer, because we pray every week. We make sure that there is some prayer that laces the beginning of our week. And hopefully, you're not just praying with me on Mondays. Hopefully, you're praying every day. Are you? Okay. I don't know. But at least, hopefully, you pray this prayer with me so that you know what to do the rest of the week. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into the good things. Oh my gosh, y'all. So last week was amazing. Last week was crazy, but also amazing. Let me tell y'all. So this is a good thing, okay? But let me tell you about the craziness that happened before it. So I was a part of a workshop last week. It's actually really really cool. In the work I get to do, I work with kind of like patient centered outcomes research a little bit. And I was at a workshop focused on that. And this workshop was down in DC. Y'all, apparently this was probably like the first real day that it was super cold because the weather, you know how Maryland is. We have that season where it's summer, winter, fall, and spring all at the same time at different hours of the day. So anyway, that's where we are right now in the weather. And this day, apparently the morning was super cold and all four of my tires were low. And not just a little bit low, not just oh, I can kind of play with it low. No, it was low. Like my tires need to be at like 35 and 32 front and back. My joints was like 28 and 25. I said, why? Why is this happening now? Okay. When I need to be down in DC. So I had a whole ordeal trying to get my tires together in DC. I mean, for DC. Then I drove the hour into DC. But then when I got there, When I finally did get there, it was a grand time. Okay. I had an amazing time talking with people about how we're going to build data capacity and all the different things that I get to do in my day-to-day work. And it was super fun. Now I know that's really nerdy, but this is what I like. Okay. So it was a good thing after I got over the whole tires being too low, y'all. That was crazy. And then another good thing, I don't know if you noticed, but you see the fresh hair. If you're catching the replay on Spotify, I'm showing off the fresh parts of my hair because I have locks. And I got my hair done on Friday. But the better thing is that on Sunday, yesterday, I celebrated 3 years locked. Okay. I listen, and my hair is flourishing. Okay. Let me tell you, this was the best decision I made in my life 3 years ago. Okay. Best decision. Besides, following Jesus and all that kind of stuff. Those are still high up there, right? But this one, man, I love it over here at Locked Life. If you're contemplating it, do it. Just do it. It'll be worth it in the long run. Okay. So anyway, had an amazing time. Hair is flourishing. Had an amazing time at this workshop. It was a good thing. Okay. What are some good things that you had a chance to deal with today or this week? Last week, excuse me. What are some good things? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what you've been doing. What's been good in your life? Because as we focus on what has been good, it gives us the strength to be able to do better things the next week, right? It gives us confidence in ourselves that life ain't that bad. And it helps us move forward, right? It helps us build resilience, all of these different things. I talk about it all the time. So now let's get into the next topic on the docket, okay? And that is what's on the docket. What's on the docket? So this week we have a lot going on, okay? So actually one of the main things that I have is that I'm at another conference this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. So I'm kind of like prepping and now I have to like rearrange my week to be able to accommodate having to go into DC twice this week, right? So and we're going to talk about this a little bit later because that's part of the topic of the day with the intentional topic. We're talking about controlling our time, right? And the whole point to us having this weekly review and having this time to focus is realizing, okay, I got a whole bunch of different stuff that I don't typically do this week. So how do I need to adjust my schedule, right? So for me, the first couple of things that I'm going to need to do is, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go to the gym these next 2 days. So I got to figure out if I'll have time in the evening or if I just have to just forego it. And I'm a little sad about that, actually. But I need to get into DC on time and it takes a long time. Okay. Even though I'm close, it takes forever to get down there. Okay. So that's some things that I end up having to do. As you're looking at your week ahead, you can plan ahead. If I didn't look at my week ahead of time, then I would be struggling. I would be waking up confused, discombobulated, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get down to DC on time and be ready for this panel that I'm gonna be on and all these different things, right? So today, right after this podcast, we're going to be putting together what my next 2 days are going to look like. All the rest of the days are regular. I don't got nothing real special happening. Oh, Friday night is Catalyst. My church has this amazing time of worship. Can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. But the rest of the week it's going to be the same thing, right? So that'll be the biggest thing that I'll be focusing on. I guess what is in what's happening in your world? What's on the docket for you this week? Again, the whole point is making sure that you are thinking ahead so that we can use the time that God has gave us wisely. Okay, my favorite verse. You can't see it, but it's right there. Right there. I won't move the camera because then I don't want to mess up the things. But yeah, my favorite verse is Psalm 90:12, where it says, teach us to use wisely all the time that we have. And this is part of living out that life with wisdom. Okay. So, all right, let's get into that intentional topic of the week. Okay. And that topic today is controlling your time. This is how another way to be able to live an intentional life, to live life with a little less chaos in what you do and where you go. Okay. So I'm going to break down 4 different ways that you can control your time. And it's so important because it's time to take time and add some intentionality to what you do, right? You've been following me for however long, and I'm hoping that you're taking some of these intentional topics and actually applying them to your life. But I know with life and all the things that are happening, we can get overwhelmed, right? Because life isn't going to stop because you feel like you want to be intentional, right? You actually have to implement those things in your life. You have to decide what's important. So I'm going to break down a couple of things, well, 4 things to be exact, that will help you to control that time, help you to be intentional with the moments that you have here on this earth, right? Because again, it's so important. The prayer, the constant prayer that I have is, Lord, teach us how to use our time wisely. Show us what to do with the time that you've given us. You said that you gave us great things, great works, good works to do here on earth. So we got to figure out how to do that with all the things that life brings us, our children, our work, our businesses, our families, all of the things, our husbands, our wives, all the things that life brings us. We have to figure out, well, Lord, how do you want me to create the space and the time to do those good things? Okay. So here are 4 things. Number 1, remove distractions. Now, it's so funny because I'm talking about this today and I was distracted this morning. Listen, let me tell y'all. So, one thing that I actually do to be really practical about removing distractions is to actually put on like blocks on my phone. I forgot what they're called, but so that you don't play on the internet or anything like that at certain times. Well, for some odd reason, my block was not on, and I definitely played on the internet this morning before prayer. Like, I had to repent, y'all, because I was in there playing around on my phone instead of praying, man. But anyway, so I just find it hilarious that this is the first thing that I do, and I struggled with it this morning. So I was gonna say, don't do as I do as I say. But no. The whole point to living this life is that it's not always gonna be perfect, right? But we know what we need to do to be better. So remove the distractions. What I'm gonna do is figure out why my block wasn't on my phone so that it was easy for me to get distracted this morning. But it's so important to figure out, well, what are some things that are key things that are distractions for you, and make some practical moves to block that. If it is social media, block it on your phone. If it is, I don't know, TV, set time that you are only going to watch your favorite show, right? And don't watch it any other time. For me, TV is not that important to me. So it's not that much of a struggle, but I do try to make sure, okay, this is when I'm going to watch my fave show. This is when I'm going to binge watch this, right? At least try to do it. And what, excuse me, not at least, do it. And remove the distractions from your life. Okay. Then the second thing is to base it all on your values. I heard someone say that, show me your calendar and I'll show you what you actually value, or show me your phone and I'll show you what you actually value, right? What you spend your time on is what you value. And it's so important to begin to build principles and build your life around those principles so that you're spending your time on the things that you actually value. One thing that I always talk about is that you have to cultivate at least these 6 relationships in your life, right? And these 6 relationships are God, your health, your body, mind, your mind. That was 3. So God, health, body, mind, and then family, friends, and finances. Now you can call them whatever you like. You can break them up in separate things. For me, I have a separate value for my husband, separate value for my family. Notice I said for my husband. I don't got no husband yet, okay? But I've set up a value. I've set up a life principle that I want to live by, even now, before I'm married, So Separate it however you feel. My finances are broken up in my business and then also my charitable giving, my wealth building and giving, right? So build those principles, build out what you truly desire to see in them, live by that, and then build out, control your time around that, right? So for instance, with me, I know what's important. My time with God is important. So I remove distractions usually so that I can spend that time with God in the mornings, right? Don't always get it perfect, clearly, because this morning was not perfect. But that is my key and one of my desired values, one of my focuses, my principles that I live by. Make sense? Then the next thing is to build your dream week. Build out the week that if everything went out according to plan, that this is what it would look like. Now, of course, we know that life never goes according to plan. Life always has some little twist or turn just to, keep it spicy, you know? But building out that dream week gives you a basis to land on. It gives you some place where, okay, this is the base. This is where I can always come back to. And if I need to change it, if I need to rearrange something, that's fine. But I always know that this is the thing that I am focusing on in my life. So build out that dream week. Set it up so that you're like, okay, this is the week that I want to live. And if something changes, then that's fine. We'll change and shift with it. That's kind of how I work, right? I have my dream week. But this week, I have a conference that I'm going to go to in DC 2 days of this week. So that means for 2 of those days, I'm not going to be able to live out the dream week that I desired. And that's fine because I can always go back to that next week. I can always, because I have it down on paper, I can always look back and be like, okay, well, since I can't work out here, maybe I'll work out there. Or since I can't work out at this point, maybe I'll do it in the evening. Maybe I'll do extra on Saturday. I'll be able to rearrange. If you don't have a basis to stand by, then you have no idea. You're living your life in chaos. You're living your life in chaos. And we don't want that, right? Because there's a little less chaos of podcasts. And then finally, review often. And that's the whole point to this podcast. The whole point to why I'm here every Monday is because I want you and I to take some time to review our week and make sure that we're prepared. Because I can build out my dream week, but if I never look at it, is it really the dream week? If I never pay attention to it, is it really helping me move forward? I can set values, but if I'm never taking time to go back over those values, go back over those principles, do they matter? I can remove distractions all I want. But if I'm not taking time to review my processes, review how I do things, and improve, does it even matter? It doesn't, if you were wondering. So review often. We review together weekly because after this, you're going to take some time and review your week, right? Make sure that you're planning well. Okay. Yeah. All right. But then also set up some time to review daily, to review monthly, definitely to review quarterly. I have something that I like to call the quarterly reset that is amazing. If I do say so myself, take some time, check it out, links below. But I really want to help people learn how to reset frequently. So take it at your leisure. Oh, also, I have a little something to help you build out your dream week. Link below as well. Like literally right below. But so definitely, these are the 4 things that we can do to transform our lives, to control our time, to be intentional with the moments that we have. All right. What's those 4 things again? Remove distractions, base it on your values, build your dream week, and review often. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, let's get into this dream prayer. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite part of the podcast because it's time to seal everything in prayer. It's time to get excited about what God is going to do in our lives this week. Okay. So let's take a moment to pray. Father, help us. Help us to control the time that you gave us. Show us how to use our time wisely so that we can accomplish all that you have set before us. Show us how to focus, remove distractions, build well, and review often. Thank you for guiding us in this endeavor daily. All right, y'all. Well, that is it. I had fun. I hope y'all have fun with me. See y'all next week. Oh, next week is the last Monday of the month. You know what time it is. It's time for the monthly review. And we're going to be talking again about why it's so important to be celebratory of the fact that we made it to the end of the month. All right, y'all. Have an awesome week. See y'all next week. Peace.